What's going on here on the Frogman Manga Review channel? This time we're going into Jujutsu Kaisen number 1. This is written by Gege Akutami. This is a brand new manga for me. For some of these mangas on the layout here, I've already read them. And for some of them, I have never began. This one is new. So it's been very much so enjoyed. We're going to review this the only way that I can do it, and only in the way that you get on that Frogman Manga Review channel. Let's go into chapter 1. So the beginning of chapter 1 of this manga starts off with this black-haired character looking for an object, and he's outside of this little tent type thing. And then you cut to this awesome, what would have been a color spread at the beginning of this manga. It's in a black and white print, so you don't get the cool colors. The first scene of this manga is actually in a classroom. It is in a occult research club that is full of 3 students. This is Mr. Yuji Itadori and his friends Sasaki and Iguchi. They are into ghosts and ghouls and the occult and things like the Ouija board, stuff like that. So they are into some very spooky ghoul ghost type stuff. So when this guy comes in, this is Mr. Yoshida. He went missing, and they're telling this guy about it. This guy, I don't even know who the hell this is. I don't know who this guy is, to be honest, but he seems like he's pretty much in charge. And he's like, hey dudes, you guys can't do that. But they're like, we swear there's paranormal activity going on campus. As we cut back, well, this is actually before, you would assume. This is the black-haired guy walking through the campus, and he's seeing this weird freaking like creature, yo. Look at this freaking guy, look at him. Super weird. Reminds me of a hollow from Bleach. I know y'all know Bleach. It's coming soon. It's coming real soon. He sees this freaking purse is what he's calling it. We learn that he is looking for a special grade cursed object, and it's this little box with something inside of it. He can actually feel the presence of this box, and he goes to look for it, and he runs across Yuji Itadori. When they cross paths, after Gege Akutami uses a moment to show the physical capability of Yuji Itadori and his body. He's like a super athlete for some reason. When they cross paths, this black-haired boy is like, oh my gosh, I've got to go get this guy, because he is definitely in possession of this freaking cursed object. But luckily, Yuji Itadori kind of gets away from it. Unluckily, he is in the hospital with his grandfather, and his grandfather is trying to tell him about his parents. He wants to talk to him about Yuji Itadori's parents, but he's like, dude, I don't want to talk about those people. I'm not interested in them. He is, however, interested in taking care of his grandfather, and his grandfather is someone that Yuji very much respects. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, his last moments with his grandfather are in this instance, and this gets the standout moment right here for chapter 1. Yuji gets a very impactful scene very early in this manga, and there is a very sad loss of his grandfather. However, he's not taking it super hard right now. Whoa, pause. But because this has never happened before, he says he's still getting used to the grief or the pain of the situation. So it's messed up, but thankfully his grandfather does instill some values in Yuji. He tells him to make sure that when it's Yuji's time to go, he is surrounded by other people, and that he doesn't need to end up like his grandfather. He also tells him that he needs to help people. Always. You need to help people. Well, as Yuji is leaving the hospital, he actually runs across this black-haired guy, and he introduces himself as Megami Fushiguro. This is Megami. He is looking for that freaking cursed object, and he's like, I know you have it, so give it to me. And Yuji's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Explain it. What is this curse? Negative feelings and emotions and thoughts all kind of bundle up. They kind of bundle up and gather into locations and bad spots, and they get worse and worse, and they can actually produce manifestations like that creature from earlier. And the places like a hospital or a graveyard, something like that, would be more susceptible to that, because that's where you go to have those kinds of thoughts. So inevitably, Yuji hands over this freaking box that has the cursed object inside of it to Megami, and he opens it. And Megami's like, holy cow, the freaking object is not even in here anymore. I've been tracking the lingering cursed energy. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Freaking bonus note right here. That's a big deal. Check it out. A cursed object is a cool concept. This one is a freaking human finger. Check that out. This is so nasty. That's so freaking gross. So Yuji's friends from the Occult Research Club are actually unwrapping this finger right now, and they are inviting more evil cursed energy into the actual classroom right here, the Occult Research Club. Upon realizing that and feeling the pressure from it, Yuji and Megami begin to head that way. I just want to stop here for a moment. These freaking curse guys are weird. This guy's like, what time is it now? The hour hand points to 11. And this guy's eating this guy's head off. What time is it now? I don't know what this guy sounds like in the anime, but that's what he sounds like to me. Another one freaking bonus note. That's a big deal. Oh, it's a big deal. This is Megami using divine dogs. And these guys freaking come up out of the ground. He does this freaking Naruto hand symbol. And these dogs come up out of the ground. That's pretty sick. So obviously Yuji's friends are no match for this curse. And as the curses get stronger, they begin to overwhelm the high school students until Yuji, bonus note, freaking breaks into the window. He jumps into the window and it's like, this is the 3rd floor, but he has this inner thought to himself about his grandfather, and he thinks that he passed on peacefully. Super deep moment for Yuji, and it's also super badass to see him fly into this classroom like that sideways. It's pretty sick. So he lands, and both of these guys take some shots, Megami and Yuji, and they're like, oh my god, this curse is super strong, so we need to get out of there. But we do learn about cursed object, the special grade cursed object. This one is in Ryomen Sukuna, or at least part of it. What does that mean? What the hell does that mean? We're gonna learn. So here comes this freaking cursed weirdo bad guy. This is actually, I think it's the guy from earlier. It looks just like him. He gets a hold of Megami and he throws him out of the high school here, and he actually gets pretty badly hurt. Gets pretty badly wounded. And so Yuji is having a moment to himself. He's like, I have to help people. I've got to be the helper here. I've got to help people, and I need to be there for Megami. And he's like, if I only had a little bit of cursed energy, I think I'd be able to stand up to this curse that is fighting me right now. So he eats the freaking finger, bro. He eats the freaking finger. You freaking frog. He eats the freaking finger of Sukuna, Ryomen Sukuna. Bonus note, bro, you already know. That's a big deal. He eats the freaking finger. That's crazy. But in doing so, he's kind of risking dying, but there's also a chance that he is able to survive. And lo and behold, holy cow, he survives with one slash using the power of Sukuna, Ryomen Sukuna. I don't know how to say it yet. He's just decimated this freaking curse. This was sick. And so you actually get to hear Sukuna talk at the end of this chapter. I knew it. Light is best appreciated in the flesh. And Megami thinks to himself, this is the worst case scenario. This is 1 in a million. The special grade cursed object has incarnated. And then Sukuna continues to talk. A cursed spirit's flesh is no fun. Where are the people, the women? What a wonderful age it has become. Women and children spawning like maggots. Marvelous. It'll be a massacre, he thinks to himself. It's a pretty sick panel here. Full page panel almost. Pretty cool moment. But until, boom, Yuji is actually able to interrupt the actions of Sukuna in his body. It's pretty sick. But unfortunately, as cool as that is, he is no longer human. And under Jujutsu regulations, Megami will exercise the curse now known as Yuji Itadori. And that is the end of chapter 1. Damn, that was a good one. Alright, here we go. We're pushing into chapter 2. Jujutsu Kaisen. Yuji Itadori wakes up and he's talking to this dude in this weird box room with a bunch of tags hanging down from the walls and ceilings. This dude is Gojo. Gojo shows up. This is a flashback back to when Sukuna ate the freaking... when Yuji ate the finger of Sukuna. This is Gojo Sensei, apparently from the Jujutsu school. He is Megami Sensei here. And he's looking for the cursed object. He's like, I heard some crazy stuff happen. Where is it? Yuji's like, sorry, dude. I freaking ate it. I munched down on that thing. But then Gojo does something actually pretty sick. He's like, 10 seconds. Take control again after 10 seconds if you think you can. And don't worry about it. I'm the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer. This is his own words. Knocked over the freaking camera for it. His own words. Jujutsu sorcerer, he's the strongest. I don't believe it. I gotta see it. And we get a pretty cool scene right here. The standout moment of the chapter. This one right here was pretty sick. It's a cool showcase of Gojo, and Sukuna is interesting. Gojo's actually pretty strong here. He's able to contend with Sukuna pretty nonchalantly. He doesn't really care about him right here. But it's also interesting to me what Sukuna is talking about. It doesn't matter what era it is. You guys are always a pain. You stupid jujutsu sorcerers. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? We know you old, dude, but what you talking about? What you talking about, dude? But then as Yuji snaps back into reality, whoop, there goes gravity. He falls into the arms of Gojo right here. Gojo catches him, and they agree to retreat, but they have to take him with them. But unfortunately, it's an execution, and regardless of how he feels, Yuji is probably going to be executed. But after explaining the cursed objects and how the Sukuna of legend had 4 arms and 20 fingers, that jujutsu sorcerers have 6 of them so far. There are 20 in total. Again, you can't destroy them, you can't really get rid of them, but you can eat them. So Yuji freaking ate one, and apparently he got away with it and lived. But if Yuji dies, the curse also dies. So Gojo came to a conclusion, came to an agreement. Freaking bonus note: if we're gonna kill him, why not kill him after he consumes the rest of Sukuna? The higher-ups agreed, so now you have 2 options. Die now, or find the remaining parts of Sukuna and die after taking them all into your body. Sick. That's sick for the plot. That's sick. Gotta find all these freaking fingers. So we get a scene, we jump forward to Yuji talking to Gojo, and they are talking about how dangerous a curse truly is and how dangerous it is to have ran into one of these things. And Yuji eats another one of the freaking fingers, and it's a cool moment right here. He quick snaps into this mode again, but he's able to very quickly get himself back out of it. And he's like, dude, that was freaking gross. It was so gross. That finger was so nasty. That finger was so gross. It tastes like Robitussin. This is a phenomenal thing for Gojo to be seeing. He is actually super ecstatic about knowing someone that is able to consume these cursed objects like that. It's kind of cool. And that's when we get Yuji actually devoting himself to eating the rest of Sukuna. And so, here we go. We are going to lock in, and Yuji is going to enroll in the same school for Jujutsu Sorcery that Megami goes to. Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School. And there are only 3 students in the first year class at the end of Chapter 2. We go pushing into Chapter 3 of that Jujutsu Kaisen. So we actually arrive at the Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School, and one of only 2 Jujutsu education facilities in the country. There's 2 of them. This is only one of them. And it's out here in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. It's pretty cool. Even after graduation, many Jujutsu sorcerers use the facility as a home base. It's a cornerstone for not only serves as a place of education, but provides meditation for missions, mediation for missions, and general support for the Jujutsu community. And I think it's pretty cool that while talking about the hierarchy and the school, the curse of Ryomon Sukuna is able to speak through Yuji's body. It's pretty sick, and that's my standout moment, 1 per chapter for Chapter 3, getting to know Sukuna. It's actually more so talking about this page right here. Ryomon Sukuna with 4 arms and 2 faces is a demon of legend. The truth is, he was a human who actually existed, but that was over 1,000 years ago. In the golden age of Jujutsu sorcerers had sharpened their skills against him, but were ultimately defeated. With the title Ryomon Sukuna, he would traverse the ages after his death as a cursed object. Kind of reminds me of Shaman King, and if you know about Shaman King, we Jujutsu sorcerers, even we wouldn't be able to destroy his remains preserved in their own grave wax. He is the king of curses. And there's a pretty cool scene right here. They say, hey, Gojo, if you were to fight him again and he were to regain his power completely, Gojo's like, nah, I'd win, bro. Don't worry about it. I beat him. I'd eat my Wheaties. I beat him. Here we get introduced to the Jujutsu High Principal. This is Mr. Masamichi Yaga. Mr. Yaga. And he is actually pretty cool. What happens after you learn about curses and the way of exorcism? He's actually wanting to get to know Yuji Itadori and his plans, what kind of person he is. People you don't even know are dying every day because of tragic accidents and diseases. Are you saying you can't accept their deaths if it's caused by a curse? The question is the last request left to Yuji by his grandfather. He says, you're gonna fight because someone else told you to? You're disqualified. And the doll is actually starting to stand up, and it's fighting infused with the principal's curse. And it's actually pretty damn strong. And Yuji's like, dude, it's not just any freaking last request, it's my grandfather's. That's this doll is starting to kick his butt. Basically, Yuji needs to devote himself to doing this because he wants to and not because he feels indebted to or entrusted upon. Someone has to do it for someone. Is it gonna be your grandfather's fault when you get killed by a curse? The principal asks. And that's a pretty smart point there. You've got to do this because you're in it to win it, bro. No jujutsu sorcerer dies without regret. I got a sick freaking bonus note. Big deal right here. This one's major. Itadori's determination. Consuming Sukuna. I know that's something only I can do. Even if I could run away from my execution or from the mission. No matter what I do, eating, taking a bath, or reading manga, that's what I'm doing right now. It'll still be there. I'm not gonna regret the way I live. Awesome character moment for Yuji. And in that moment, the principal is actually accepting, and he's like, Satoru Goju, go show him to his dorm. You pass. Welcome to Jujutsu High School. So this guy's in now. He's one of the students, and he gets his own freaking dorm. And Gojo actually offers, he's like, hey dude, we can let you chill here and me and Megami can go get the freaking fingers. You don't have to go do anything. He's like, nah man, I actually kind of want to be a part of it. But luckily, they can realize they can use Yuji as a radar to help find the rest of them. So that's pretty cool. Boom, end of the chapter, bonus note, nothing light. This one's a major one. Introduction to Nobara at the end of chapter 3. This is Jujutsu High School first year student Nobara Kugisaki. And she is arriving now. She is arriving behind, but they've got to go get her. And that's the end of chapter 3. Here we go, pushing into that chapter 4 of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. This one starts off with the boys. They are talking about the third first year student. They're like, she joined up a little bit before you, but we gotta go meet her at this place. Miss Nobara. She's like, I'm pretty bad, I'm pretty fine, but I don't really like you guys because boys are weird, men are weird. So we do get a pretty cool scene here. I like this one of Miss Nobara Kugisaki. You get her full name and you get her point of view on Yuji and Megami. She's like, dude, this guy Yuji is a freaking hick. He's weird. He eats his boogers. And Megami's like super stuck up. He's high and mighty. He needs to be brought down a peg. So Mr. Gojo brings all of his 3 first-year students to not only a cemetery, but also an abandoned building, all in one, because this is a major breeding ground for curses. And he's like, it's a field test. I want to see what you guys are capable of. Go out there, go crazy, go exterminate the curses. And he gives Yuji a cool tool called Slaughter Demon, this freaking knife. Yuji does something pretty sick with it in just a few pages. Stay tuned. So as the pages keep turning, we keep going to that standout moment. 1 per chapter. Chapter 4, Miss Nobara takes notice of Sukuna and Yuji's connection. She's very interested. That small question mark means big things to me. As the 2 main suspects and focal points of Gojo's training in the field test here, Miss Nobara and Yuji split up. They begin to run into curses. Yuji runs into this one, uses this head-on attack, sliding dagger move, jumps all around and stabs this freaking curse in the head. Gojo's, I mean, this guy's crazy. But I'm also really interested in seeing how crazy Miss Nobara can be. Miss Nobara has these awesome nails and hammer. And she'll launch the nail up and smack it real hard with the hammer and they fly took into this freaking curse's head. But to end off the chapter, she does say, compared to the countryside, the curses in Tokyo are on a whole other level. End of chapter 4. That one was pretty good, but pretty quick. You already know, pushing into that chapter 5 of the Jujutsu Kaisen. The main characters, Yuji and what is her freaking name? Nobara are doing the field test in the cemetery / abandoned building set up by Gojo, but there are real curses inside here. Luckily though, we start off with the explanation of Nobara's powers. We learn that the cursed energy that she has flows through the nails and in order to kill the curses or to exterminate them. She runs across this young boy and she's like, hey, come here, I can save you, everything's okay. But he's like, no, because there's weird freaking dudes over here, but don't leave me. This weird freaking dude. Crazily though, this hostage situation is on the max because this curse is able to think, and he's actually cognate enough to know what he's doing right now. This is a choice between life and death. So in this heat of the moment situation, Nobara drops everything and she's like, I got nothing, let the kid go. And she mentions, I could have seen Saori one more time. Till luckily, boom, the standout moment or note, one per chapter. Yuji saves the young boy that this curse was holding hostage. He bursts in the freaking wall. He's like, did I miss? He was going for the freaking curse, missed him. Actually slices his freaking arm off. The curses escapes. But the curse is like, sneaky, snarky, I'm gonna get away. I'm running away now. And it's like, buddy, you are not running away. What are you thinking, dude? You are not going to run away. But Nobara's like, give me the arm. And she pulls out this straw doll, this voodoo doll type thing. And she does this move, straw doll technique, resonance. And this is a bonus note. Straw doll technique, resonance. And she nails the nail into the doll, and it actually kills the freaking curse at the same time. So that was sick. And now she's talking about Saori. When I was in first grade, Saori moved to our village from Tokyo. She was as cute as a doll and as a nun, but the people in the village ostracized her. They said that she looked down on country folk. They made her out to be a bad person and drove her out of the village. It was sickening. She would treat me to all these homemade sweets I'd never tried before, and she would give them to me with a smile on her face, saying, it's probably not as good as that bakery. See, I told you it was dangerous to go alone. You never said that. Really deep scene getting to know Saori, but we don't actually see anything. But Yuji asks Nobara why she's here, and she's like, I didn't like living in the middle of nowhere, so I came to the city, and being in the Jujutsu sorcery school is the only way to do it, because she wants to stay true to herself. I would have died if I stayed in that village. Saori, I made it to Tokyo. If we meet again, let's go to that shop. Pretty sick character moment for Nobara. She has a promise to meet someone. I think it's gonna happen. And we get an awesome cliffhanger on this chapter. This one was sick. An unnamed apparition of potential special grade was witnessed by multiple non-jujutsu sorcerers. Since it was deemed an emergency, 3 first-year students were sent to the scene. Of those 3 students, 1 died. And these people are looking at this weird thing in the sky. That is an awesome cliffhanger at the end of chapter 5. Here we go, we're starting chapter 6 of the Jujutsu Kaisen, and we are meeting at the Detention Center Building 2. And we meet Jujutsu High School Assistant Manager Kiyotaka Ijichi. This is a special request of the 3 first-year students to go check out this special grade. And they're like, hey, what's up to grades? We actually get an explanation of the different grades here. A grade 4, for example, is the very weakest, whereas a grade 1 is the strongest, and special grade is even above that. So they say normally someone like Gojo would be sent to a place like this, but he's on a business trip. So we're lacking manpower. Of course, there's not that many jujutsu sorcerers in the grand scheme of everything, so they send the 3 first-year students. And this woman is actually in the crowd seeing this building, and she's like, hey, that's my son. My son is in this building. Can you please go find him? And that is the standout moment of the chapter. One of these per chapter here on the Frogman Manga Review channel. The first years, all 3 of them devote themselves to saving her child Todashi. He is in the juvenile detention center. So the assistant principal here, or the assistant manager, says, emerge from darkness, blacker than darkness, purify that which is impure. And this giant black curtain falls away. and reveals this weird giant freaking landscape. They call it a domain. This domain is huge. Megami says he's never seen one, this domain. And so this is a weird maze they're walking through at this moment. And oh my gosh, the bonus note, the page turn on this one was crazy. It's a sick page turn, looking for this young boy Todashi. And Yuji realizes that it's too late. He has already passed away. Then we get a pretty cool engagement between Megami and Yuji in this chapter. And they talk about what does it mean to save someone that has done possibly bad things in the past. And Megami says, who's to say that Yuji won't save someone in the future that goes on to kill people? And Yuji says, then why did you save me? And that's a solid freaking question, man. At this exact moment, Nobara links back up with the two guys as this weird hand starts rising up out of the ground. Or no. She's actually falling into the ground. She's going down. Now they're trapped alone. And the dog is dead. Boom. Another freaking page turn. At the juvenile detention center, the special grade curse stops Yuji and Megami in their tracks. This one is a bonus note. Orange, but big deal. This one is sick. Look at this freaking curse, bro. And the two guys, they are unable to move. They are stopped in their tracks. And here we get Yuji trying to throw a punch at this freaking thing, and his fist is actually disintegrated. Getting close to Aizen and Bleach, you just can't do it if you're not strong enough. And so at the end of the chapter, we get to see that Nobara has her own problem to deal with, a curse, and how many she is unsure at the end of chapter 6. Here we go. If you're a chimp, not a champ, or if you're a champ and not a chump, we're going into chapter 7 of that Jujutsu Kaisen on Frogman Manga Review. Check it out. Check it out. So we catch up with Megami. Megami is running away from the scene, and he is saying, don't die, Itadori, or Kugasaki. And oh my god, this is the most memorable panel of the volume. This is sick. Jujutsu Kaisen. This is... at the current moment, Yuji Itadori looking like he is beating the shit out of this curse. It's what it looks like, at least. He already closed the distance. There's no running away now. If I die, you die too. You don't want that, do you, Sukuna? Then help me. We get a flashback to just a few moments ago. And this is Sukuna kind of talking to the guys. He's like, I refuse. Even if I die inside you, I still have 18 more spirit fragments scattered around. That said, I'm unfortunately not in control of this body. It's up to you to switch. But when that happens, before I kill the curse, I'll kill Fushiguro here. Next is Kugisaki. She's got spunk, so that should be fun. And Yuji's like, I'm not gonna let that happen. But if you get distracted with me, Sukuna says, your friends might really die. And the curse launches this kind of fire spitball at him. And the Megami realizes that this curse is able to spit out cursed energy with incredible power as it's laughing at him. Yuji says, Fushiguro, go find Kugisaki and get out of here. I'll keep this thing distracted until you two make it out. I don't care how you do it, but give me a signal once you two are out and safe. We actually see Megami start to get on the run. And he does the divine dogs. This black one comes up. And he says, find Kugisaki. As we get a showdown between Yuji and this special grade curse. This guy is crazy, bro. This guy's crazy as hell. He just freaking, boom, does a Frieza pose. And he blows Yuji away from him. Smacks into the wall. And he's like, what is that? It's a cursed energy barrier? And then this guy is so fast. He shows up while he's still on the wall. Shows up, boom, he's upside down. Yuji realizes it. Bam, he smacks him again. Now he's down. And then he's falling forward here. He's on the ground. And as the curse kind of lands and he's walking towards him, Yuji puts his arms back out. Obviously, remember, he's got one forearm cut off already. He is trying to block this second blast that's coming towards him of the cursed energy. And it's this awesome scene where his fingers are wilting away. And then he remembers the words of his freaking grandfather. Yuji pushes into the special grade curses barrier at the standout moment of the chapter. He thinks about help people and how much this hurts, but he has to help people in this moment. And was I really that weak? He was blasted away, it seems. Cut to Nobara. She says, I remember your face, as she's talking to these weird freaking curses that have taken her a hold. They have her in their grasp. They have her in their freaking grasp right now. But Megami shows up with a freaking frog. You're a freaking frog. I'm actually in this manga chapter that's kind of insane. But he says he's not a fan of frogs. And Nobara's my girl right now. She's too bad. She's inside of a frog. I'll be inside. I'm kidding. I don't mean it. So this is Curse. And back to Yuji. Yuji is obviously gotten blasted by that second cursed energy wave. And now he is way down on his luck. He says, I thought I was strong. At least strong enough to die on my own terms. But I was wrong. I'm weak. Oh, I don't want to die. Curses are a result of the negative energy flowing out of people. In that case, hatred and fear and regret. Let it all out with this fist. Boom! He partially uses Sukuna power is what it looks like to me, but I'm not sure. Yuji taps into the power of Sukuna to punch the special grade curse. And if he hadn't already, he definitely has at the end in the stare down between the special grade curse and the curse known as Yuji Itadori, with Sukuna taking over. No matter how you slice it, you're such an annoying brat. As the wolves are giving, the divine dogs are giving the signal that Megami and Nobara have made it out of the detention center safely. That is the end of chapter 7. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1 review on Frogman Manga Review channel. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.